Hi there, it's Jeff. Welcome to those that are new to my channel and those that follow me. In this video I'm going to show you how to make your own panel doors or shaker doors. Mine are made out of MDF, but they can be made out of pine or plywood. And for the joining method with these rails, I've used Biscuits, which are quite easy to use. And I'm going to show you how to do this step by step. Keep watching to the end. I'm going to share with you a pro tip to do with these biscuits as well. And the good thing about this is it's all done in-house, DIY, with the use of some basic woodworking power tools and hand tools, and without the use of CNC. So if you're interested in making some of these for your DIY project, keep watching and I'll show you how I did this step by step. Okay, one thing we're going to do before we zap or do our biscuits is just going to mark the center on both pieces as a reference for our biscuit machine. So we're going to be right in the center of our rails in the right position to put our biscuit. Okay, before we do anything, I'm just going to do a dry fit. Just to make sure that the joint is going to go together nicely. That should work. Okay, I've got my door laid out into the configuration it's going to be glued up and biscuited in. So it's just going to be a matter of pulling these a little bit apart from each other, gluing in some biscuits, and then putting it back together and clamping it. So what I'm using here as well is this what we call Sash clamps. On smaller doors you could just get away with a little like some bar clamps or quick release clamps, I guess, if you wanted to. It's going to be a matter of trying to get them to squeeze up. I'm just going to spread that glue around. Yeah. Okay, and once I've got this all nice and clamped tight, you'll see the glue starting to ooze out, which is quite normal. That's good. Make sure that your joints are quite even on the surface. If they are sticking out a little bit, or they're not quite 100%, you could get yourself a quick release clamp, something like that, and put them in the corners or on the ends over here if need be, but mine aren't too bad. And just remember that you will probably need to sand these later on. You might get a little bit of imperfections out. One last thing to do in this process here, in this gluing up stage, is to just check that this is square. And the way we're going to do that is just measure diagonally from corner to corner and see what readings we get. We should be quite even. So on this side here I have 704. 704 that way. This way I'm 704, which is great. I'm square. So if your pieces are machined nice and square and you clamp it up and the sides here are flush, I won't need to do really much trimming there or any cleaning up, just a little bit of a sand. The whole thing should clamp up nice and square as well. So let that to dry till the next stage. Now, as you can see, we just pulled this out of the clamps and we've got our frame, our basic frame of the door complete and dry. Our next step now is to flip it over and do a rebate so we can put a panel from the back of this door on the inside. So to do that, I'm going to be using just a rebate router cutter. This one happens to give you a width of around about 3/8 or 10 mil rebate, and then you can vary that depth, you know, yourself, or what material that you're using for your panel. In my case, I'm using the same material, but it's 12 millimeter MDF. So that's going to give me, when I flip this over, it's going to give me around about 1/8 of an inch, or 4 millimeters actually, a little step down to that panel, which will give it a nice effect. So you can actually do that to whatever depth that you would like, but that's the look that I'm going for with this router cutter. So I'm going to be setting this up. I might do this on the router table and set that up, run the rebate through. So this is the face of my door, so I'm going to be doing the rebate obviously on the back, running that on the table, doing a rebate, and then I will need to chisel out the corners because this is going to leave a radius, and then we're going to be adjusting the depth of this also to suit my 12 mil panel, because I want this internal panel to finish flush on the inside of the door. I don't want it sticking out. I want it sitting nice and flush or close to it, and that will give me a nice 4 mil step on the front with that panel look or shaker door look. So let's get up to that next step now of setting up the router and rebating this panel door. Okay, we finished cutting our panel. I had to go a little bit backwards and forwards on the saw, just trimming ever so slightly, just so it's a nice snug fit. But a little bit of patience, and it's best to get it as close as you can instead of really gappy, because later on when it goes together you'll see gaps around here. But we can feel that, I guess, when you do paint it. But okay, I'll just put this in, show you how nice and tidy that is. Let's have a look at the door itself. So there's the door. We've got a 4mm lip there, and it's nice and square. And that's something we've achieved by hand or with some routers without the aid of a CNC machine. So I think that's fairly good. Now the only thing left to do with this is to put a little bit of glue and press this down. I'm just going to put some weights on the back of this just to hold it down overnight, and that should be it for the door. So let's do that next process. Okay, and the trick is here just to put the glue right in the corner so it doesn't ooze out of the front lip, because this is going to be facing upside down as it's gluing, and then I won't be able to wipe it. So I'm just going to put it right in the corner. Oop. Okay, and we're going to put that down again. Just check the front. Oh, there we go, we did get a bit of ooze out there for the glue. No problem, I'll just wipe that down. And this is actually a nice, really nice tight fit. I probably don't even need to put any weight on it. Just let it dry like this overnight. Okay, all that glue's wiped out. And there we go, we'll leave that overnight. Well, there you have it. That's how easy it is to make these shaker doors or panel doors yourself at home. Just another thing I wanted to share with you as well. I did another panel door with the insert here with V-grooves. So all I did with this one here is the internal measurement in here. I divided it equally into 3 parts. I drew a line where I wanted the V-grooves to go, and it's just a small little V-groove bit that I used in my router trimmer. I drew a line where I wanted these V-grooves to go, and I used my Rebate router guide. You can see that in a previous video if you're interested in that build. Simple to use. And just ran a couple of V-grooves in that panel before I inserted it into this frame. And it gives you another little effect here as well with this V-groove. Some people might like that as well. Just thought I'd show you another option that you could do with the inserted panel. One thing I want to share with you as well with these biscuit joints when we were doing them, if you find that your biscuits are really tight, and it's a common problem to go into each other, the biscuits might be a little bit thicker than the actual slot of your biscuit slotter. That's quite normal. And if you do find that problem, a little pro tip is just get yourself an anvil, or if you don't have an anvil, you can do it on a concrete floor, something solid with a ball peen hammer, and just tap those biscuits on both sides a little bit, just so it flattens them a little bit, and you'll find that they'll go into your slots a little bit looser, which will just give you that little bit more play and also allow for your glue and your glue spread out when you are putting these together. Apart from that, really happy with these, really easy to make. The back of the doors end up being flush. All you have is a line there, and these are basically ready for painting. If you do have a little bit more gap around where your panel meets on the back there from your Rebate, and you couldn't help it, well, the good thing is you can just fill it up with a little bit of filler and then give this a sand and then paint this white. Use something neutral if you want on the inside of your doors. But apart from that, these are ready for some undercoat and to be painted and to drill for your hinge holes. Well, that just about wraps up this video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it or inspiration to make your own panel doors. And if you liked it, press like, share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can keep up to date with all the latest videos and DIY projects that I do from time to time. And having said that, I will see you hopefully in my next video.